Hi guys, and welcome back, and if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to be doing a video on the high spark ignition coil packs. These are from Tuning Art, aka Ben Al. So they basically come in a box and it's just the 4 coils. If you look at them, they are really good quality. You can tell they're made of really good material. They're basically supposed to upgrade the amount of combustion that's in the engine from the sparks and give a higher spark and almost make it feel like it's overrun. There's been a few dynos lately and a few reviews that have been saying that they're really good. They're making a lot of gains considering what they are. It's also meant to make the engine run a lot smoother and just give you a little bit more torque in the bottom, middle and the top range of the engine. So we're just going to be fitting them, which is literally a 2-minute job. It's not going to take very long, and then we're just going to go for a little drive and just see how they perform, how they feel when they're driving and stuff like that, and then just see if I think they're worth the money that they are, because for what they are quite expensive, but if they're worth it, then it's definitely an upgrade that you should invest in. So let's get them fitted and then we'll go out on the road. So if you want to see how it goes, stay tuned and I'll see you very shortly. Because I'm just going to briefly touch upon what these core packs actually do. They basically create a stronger flame and a faster flame from what I can work out, and it basically just utilises all the fuel that's in the chamber. So it kind of adjusts your air-fuel ratio, and then obviously gives it more spark to be able to get more power that way. It also just makes it smoother in general. It's kind of making it feel like it's running on advance. It's just supposed to basically you might get a few brake horsepower out of it, or a little bit more torque on a remap, but if they were mapped in properly, I would have thought you'd get quite a lot of benefit from these if they were mapped in properly. But even without having them mapped in, they're just supposed to basically almost be more economical in a sense, where they use all the fuel that's at its disposal, but that in turn makes it feel a little bit faster, like especially in the higher gears. Apparently it's supposed to make it pull a lot better and a lot smoother. So if you haven't been on Tuning Art UK before, it's basically run by Ben Al, who you should know in the community anyway. I've just bought the big brake kit, which I fitted the other day, and that video should be going up around this time. So keep an eye out for that. If it's already up, then make sure you watch it. It's a wicked bit of kit. I seem to find myself, every time I go on Tuning Art, I seem to buy something. I'm like a magpie. It's like, oh, there's something shiny. So, go and check it out. Go and have a look at the website. It's got some really cool stuff on there. Not going to carry on chatting, I'm just going to go get these coil packs fitted and then we'll go out for a drive. Okay, so I'm going to show you just how quick and easy it is to fit these. We basically got 4 10mm bolts, one's just under there, and I have to remove this bolt to get rid of this pipe and just move it out of the way so I can get to the coil packs. So we're just going to undo those, and then you've got these little clips that are on the end of the actual coils. They're really flimsy, so they're either going to break when you're doing it now, or they've already broken, but there's not really anything to worry about. The actual HT lead that goes into it is pretty sturdy anyway. It's not going to pop off or anything, so I wouldn't worry about that. So we're just going to get all those nuts off, all the bolts, sorry, take the coil pack out, disconnect it there, change the new one, put it in, put the screw back in, and then it's ready to go. whatever way you find it easier, you can either disconnect this bit, take the old coil pack off, put the new one on, and then put that back in the cylinder, because obviously these coil packs all need to be in the 1, 2, 3, 4 position, otherwise the engine will misfire, it's not going to work properly. So if you find it easier to do that, there you go, see, a little yellow clip's just broken. Hello mate, you alright? So the new one goes in, just give it a little wiggle, make sure it presses down. That clip's completely broken now, typical. You basically just pull that little yellow tab towards you and then press the little black tab, give it a little wiggle. Give the coil pack a little wiggle and it pops out. The actual clip might be a little bit stuck, so you might need to pull the coil out. See, my yellow bit snapped inside. I don't know if you can see that just in there, so I'm going to have to poke that out. All these clips breaking, I just want to make sure this isn't me being slapdash. It is literally, they're just so fragile. It's like they're made of rice paper or something. So now all the bolts can go back in. And as you're putting the bolt back in, just give it a little wiggle, make sure it's seated in the actual thread underneath. And just hold the coil pack down. Just need to nip it up, doesn't need to be any pressure on there. And that is it, they're fitted. So it took about 5 minutes. It's not the longest job, it's not the most difficult. All you need is literally a 10mm socket and a ratchet, or a 10mm. You know, you probably wouldn't get a spanner in there, you probably could, but it'd be quite awkward. But apart from that, that's it fitted. So we're just going to get everything ready and then we're going to go out for a drive. So another little bit of the technical information is speaking to Ben out. Obviously he knows more about it than I do. Just kind of relaying information really. Basically they create a more effective and efficient spark, so you get more of a flame throw realities of how an engine works that much. But yeah, that's basically what it does. Okay, so this video didn't really go how I had imagined it was going to. Basically, just before the track day, you know, a week before, I was fitting the clutch and the flywheel. Everything was last minute. I had the big brake kit to fit, I had the coil packs to fit. I did a new rear brake setup just with new Brembo discs and pads. Just like loads and loads of stuff. The day before, I went to leave to go for the track day. It was actually the day that I was doing this video as well, so it was literally last minute. When I was getting the four-wheel alignment done after I'd, you know, taken the clutch out, I'd removed the drive shaft and messed with the suspension and stuff, so I thought I'd just get a wheel alignment before I do that. So when I went to the actual tyre place, they found that my front left wheel had a massive crack in the alloy because I had a very slow puncher and I couldn't really work out why. So I just said to the guys, I was like, can you have a look at the valve that goes into it? I thought that I've had it before and it's quite a common thing, so I asked them to check it, and as soon as you took the wheel off, he saw the crack and he was like, that's your issue, mate. So I had to go down the morning of leaving for the track day before we actually left. I was trying to get packed and everything like that, and I just, in the rush, I ended up leaving a bag with all my electrical stuff in the house. It had all every single camera I've got, all the chargers, all my watch charger for my Apple Watch, you know, the batteries for my vape, everything. So I literally had no electricals for the whole weekend of the track day, which I was absolutely gutted about. I was hoping to get like 2 or 3 videos done, one of them being, you know, how the coil packs have affected it. All I can say is I don't believe it's a placebo. I honestly do believe that they make a great deal of difference. You can tell as soon as you turn the car on, it just feels smoother, and that's, you know, coming from someone that owns a Multiair and they run like a bag of shit anyway. But these have just completely changed the way that it runs. I just feel so much more torque in pretty much every part of the rev range, and there's just so much more throttle response there. It's like when you put your foot on the pedal, it's just like enticing you to put your foot down. It's such a better feel of the drive, and it just feels so much smoother. It doesn't feel as lumpy, or, you know, there's been a lot of people that have said it's a placebo, but I honestly don't believe that. I do really think, and I know my car pretty well, even just the way that it was acting on track, as soon as I was coming out of a corner, when I pinned my foot down on the throttle, it just dragged it out. And it's, you know, I've done a few other bits and pieces as well, like the clutch and the flywheel and stuff, but this is like it's a different side of the power input. So I've obviously paid out for these coil packs, and Ben from Tuning Art UK, he has said, you know, whoever buys these coil packs, they are £400, you know, for an Abarth owner, you get like maybe a discount or something like that. It will try and sort you out. But he's basically saying if you don't feel the improvement, that you're not happy with them, he'll give you a refund straight away. And I can safely say that I'm definitely going to be keeping these. They just make such a difference for what they are. They just make such a difference to the overall running of the engine, not necessarily adding horsepower. I think there's been a couple of graphs put up recently on the Modified Abarth group by Georgina Taylor and a couple other people. Someone had a TDO4 set up and stuff like that, and that shows, I think it was about 12 brake increase once they've been mapped in. So it's not a great deal, no, but when you're looking for drivability, it basically just betters the whole setup. And when I get my remap, I think it will benefit even more. But even without the remap, just sticking them in, driving down the road, straight away I can tell the difference. So, you know, to all those naysayers, you know, you're the one missing out, not us, and I'm really happy with them. I'm just going to do a couple of calls while I'm on the road, just for shits and giggles really. I am in Mexico at the moment, so why not? clutch, and now it's bedded in, is literally engaged or not engaged. When you're at traffic, it's just a nightmare. It's great for hammering it around the track, don't get me wrong, but I'm glad I'm not daily in this car anymore and I've got the Grande. It's just, you can see like the vibration in my seat, and it's clunking, it's like it's knocking the whole car because it's just slapping into gear. When you're hammering it around the track, you can just, it's eager, it wants to go harder and harder, and you can just abuse it as much as you want. But when you're pulling off with traffic lights and stuff, you obviously can't slip it because you'll end up, you know, glazing the actual clutch. But you just have to basically almost do like a launch control. It's quite funny actually. I've had a few funny looks when I'm pulling off from lights. I mean, I'm trying to race them, I'm not, I just don't want to wear my clutch out. But yeah, it's so much better. I'm really glad I fitted it. I was going to go for the stage 2 CG Motorsport clutch, but they recommended, because of the power I'm putting through and because of the what I'm doing with it, basically doing track days and stuff like that, they you know, recommended that I should go for the dual friction, and I'm glad I did. I don't date the car, so the whole, you know, stopping and starting isn't really an issue. It's only when I'm driving to and from track, or like today I'm just going out for a little cruise, have a bit of fun. But yeah, it's a really good bit of kit. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.